Okay, we're at the back patio, but we're going to go around. We're going to go around and we're going to collect some roof covering notes as well, because a roofer was out here yesterday and he's inspected the roof. So at my client's direction, I'm not going to put a ladder up. He actually said, you don't have to inspect the roof. Okay. I'm not going to put a ladder up. I'm not going to do the camera pole. But I will make some comments. We've got passive wind turbines here, and we've got continuous soffit vents. So going over here, we got maybe I can see it better from the other side, but we've got a vent pipe right there, improperly positioned so that it comes up through the ridge vent. Around the foundation perimeter, we have weep holes. This is a brick house, so we have weep holes. Well, we got some solar screens here too. Looks like we've experienced a little bit of hail damage. Looks like some hail's hit this house. Not large hail, but that's what it kind of looks like. Brick is a great product. This house could burn down and the brick would still be good. You could still use the brick. And it's a great insulator. Okay, but brick is porous, and so by design we have these holes around the perimeter. These are called weep holes. Alright, most of the time water vapor escapes them. If you have an event, moisture will come out because brick is porous. It's a great insulator. It's fireproof, but it's porous. Now this might be a little less porous because they painted it. Painting it is attractive, but what we've taken is basically a zero maintenance system and turned it into a system that must be maintained because the paint will crack and peel. Now when the brick is painted like this, the home inspector cannot, it limits what we can see as far as movement. Lateral movement, vertical movement, diagonal movement, we can't. It's been repaired, been painted, everything's been covered up. I can't see it. Now these weep holes, see everywhere you have a fenestration, I think that's French for hole in your wall. Fenestrations are doors and windows. Wherever you have a fenestration that's supported by a lintel, that's that metal band that goes across the top. Those metal bands are there because they hold up the masonry. But they also stop the drainage plane. The reason why these are around the perimeter of the foundation is because that's the drainage plane. But now we've created an auxiliary drainage plane by installing these lintels up here, these windows. And so there should be weep holes above your windows and doors and fenestrations. There should be. And they're not. Back in the day, some people didn't think it was that important. Today they do. Now these two little pipes coming out here, these are for your air conditioning systems. Those are the secondary, the auxiliary, the safety pan drain lines. If moisture's coming out of those, they're installed in front of a window for the purpose of being obvious. So if that's leaking, you know that you've got a problem in your attic, your air conditioning systems, your indoor air handlers, your furnaces. Those things, evaporator coils, those are in the attic. And so that's why we have these right there. If you see that, call the technician. You got an issue. You've got a problem. This wood mulch is fine because it's not below the drip edge. This is the back, and we got a loose shingle here. I don't know where that shingle tab came from. This faucet has an anti-siphon device on it. That's a good thing. That's a thing right here. Because we don't have one on the front. I'm about to show you. Now these pads thrown out here as a walkway, they're convenient and everything, but they are not dimensionally uniform. So they may be trip hazards. They may be trip hazards because they're not dimensionally uniform. So just know that. And over here, I'm thinking this is probably the primary bedroom. I don't know. I haven't spent any significant time inside. Alright, but right here the drainage is poor. The water's collecting. it'd be like, and now it's far enough away from the house, it really doesn't affect me or my report. Usually, it doesn't have to. Let me put it that way. But you know, if water doesn't drain, okay, this is grading, all right, and this is drainage. If the water doesn't drain right, then it's gonna always be a nuisance. It's always gonna be wet. It's always gonna be ugly. It's always gonna attract mosquitoes. West Nile disease, yeah, those kinds of things. We're moving on along on these undimensional steps. And moving along our wall, this little dog house here, this little dog run, okay, this is for the air conditioning condensing units. And we've got a whole video for them when we talk about the foam, when we talk about the R22. We've got a whole video about that coming up. You see this line coming up here? Okay, that is a control joint. Some people call them expansion joints, call them what they will, but you have this much brick and you're in North Texas, we expect it to move. We just do. I mean, there's no getting around it. So these control joints take some of that pressure so we don't have some of those other cracks I started the video with. We don't have those. So, you know, that sealant in there needs to be sealed, and I can see it's kind of cracking a little bit. That sealant's supposed to be sealed every year, every couple of years maybe. But, you know, you should walk around and look at it. Now, the brick and the foundation, the concrete foundation and the brick, they expand and contract at different rates at different times for different reasons. And when they do that, for example, the brick is the only part of your house that actually grows. You'll never be able to measure it. And your slab foundation is continuously shrinking, and you'll never be able to measure that. And then, because there are different properties to the exterior, the different humidity and temperatures and sunlight and those kinds of things, radiant heat, ambient temperature, radiant temperature, heat, you know, all these reasons they expand and contract differently. It always comes out at the corners. These corners, all right, those are called shrinkage cracks. Some people call them corner pops, call them what they will. But if it's in the span of a hand and it goes back this direction, okay, that might be a corner problem. It might be an aesthetic issue. It might be a brick issue, and it might be a termite issue. But that's not a foundation issue. This house may or may not have foundation issues. We just got started. But that's not a symptom. That's not an indication that you have foundation problems. If it gets bad enough and it falls out and it's not holding your brick up anymore, you probably want to reseal it. Just a thought. Now I'm going to go back across these undimensional stepping stones past the marsh over here, the swampage, past the control joint. This is the gas meter where it enters the house. Kind of moving organically here. I am not seeing, okay, a bonding. The bonding's probably going to be at the furnaces. Gas furnaces. That's probably where we're going to have our gas piping bonding. It's on the south side of the house. It's on the south side of the small garage. The pot's fine. This is the electric service coming into the house. Is this box that should be sealed. This meter box should be sealed on 3 sides, like those boxes, to help prevent moisture infiltration into the wall system. Power's coming in below grade. We have a grounding rod around here somewhere, do we? I can't see it. I know it's here. I mean, I expect it to be here. Okay, there we go. There's a clue. There's a clue. Where are you going? You're going into the house. So, for lack of a visual, I'd have to say that the grounding rods are probably buried. Rain gutters do not divert water. Some of these rain gutters do not divert water far enough away from the house. Some of them don't. It's not supposed to just like come out here and stop like that. Coming on along, we got another lintel. We're missing our weep holes, missing our weep holes, missing our weep holes. Moving on along here, that's the clothes dryer vent. That's old school. It doesn't have a flap on it. Okay, those vents are no longer acceptable. This vent is too close to the window. If you open the window, your clothes dryer is going to go just blow into the room. You don't want that. And I can see from here, we can see from here, that it's clogged. It's clogged. Looks like we had a few shingles added up over here when they painted the fenestrations. Okay, moving on along. Trees shouldn't be closer than 25 feet to the structure to allow for root growth and branches and all that. And I get it. It's attractive. Now, see, this wood mulch is below the drip edge. Where do termites live? In the ground. What do they eat? Dead wood. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to your house. That's called a clue. It's called a clue. All this is conducive to termites, to wood-destroying insects. These are your sewer cleanouts. Missing some screens. Our windows are double pane, vinyl frame. Okay, that's nice. Hold on, we got a little stonework out here. Now this rain gutter discharges below grade. This rain gutter discharges below grade. And it comes out here and this pop-up is broken. Right there. Pop-up is broken, so. This is for a water heater, so I'm not seeing a second, I don't know how many water heaters we have. This is the first time I've noticed, the blind inspector, but this is the first time I noticed a temperature pressure relief valve drain line, and it discharges between 3 and 6 inches to the ground. That's fine, but I'm not seeing a second. I'm not seeing a second drain. Going along. This is the front porch. There's another name for this type of porch right here. And I'm going to be real smart. I'm going to put it in the inspection report. And this is the front portico. So it's a portico gallery type combination. But make no mistake, I will get you the right name for that. And when I'm around here, I'm looking for drill holes for termite treatment. And I haven't seen any. I didn't see any on the patio either. I'm going to look again. I always try to look again. Now this is covered inside the front portico. Alright? But when we get a little further out here, some other locations, it's a little more obvious. Then we should have in-use covers, bubble covers if you will, so that you can plug the Christmas lights in and close the cover. So that cover protects it from the weather only while it's closed. But you had your Christmas lights out here and you have that open, and then the wind-driven rain can go into your electrical system. I'm not required to inspect the doorbells, but I kind of like to anyway, but this is a ring system. If the system stays with the house, you want the codes so that you can reprogram it so that other people can't watch your UPS deliveries show up or your pizza deliveries or anything show up, okay? So that you can kind of maintain some sense of privacy. And sometimes these systems do not stay with the house. I do not know whether the ring system conveys or not. So I'll just go ahead and say that. Ring system may not convey. Your electric carriage, wall, sconce, luminaries, they should be sealed to help prevent moisture from coming up inside of them. And then back to the roof covering here. We're going to have a little more roof covering discussion. All right. Right here, you should have kick-out flashing. And the rain gutter, there should be a 2-inch gap between the rain gutter butt ends and the masonry or the brickwork. So we should have gaps there, and we should have kick-out flashing over both of those areas. We've also got where the rain gutter is discharging directly onto the roof covering. And the answer to that would be put another downspout into the rain gutter. That'd be pretty ugly. So, but leaving it like this, which might be a decision, apparently it has been. You can see how it's been wearing the shingles out right in there. You can kind of see that. But that's what happens when your rain gutter drains directly onto your roof covering. That's what you get. You get premature wear of the shingles. Now this rain gutter over here, alright, okay, it's just got like a little flap to let the water out. I guess he doesn't think they collect too much. You still need to kick out. The rain gutter drip edge is still, butt end is still too close. You don't have a drain spot, and I can see from here, even though I'm not getting up there, but I can see from here that it's clogged. Now most insurance companies, I don't do insurance inspections. Most insurance companies do not like to start a relationship with a roof that's 14 years old or older in this part of the country. So the roofer was out here yesterday, and my client gave me a verbal that the roofer thought it was about 15 years, and he said it's a 30-year roof, and they never last 30 years. And he's saying, well, you know what, that's, you're halfway there. And no, you're not halfway there. You got a 15-year-old roof. You're going to get there sooner than later. You are. It's a nice, I mean, you shouldn't condemn a roof just because, it's old. You shouldn't condemn me because I'm old. But at the same time, we have to recognize facts. We have to recognize facts, and this is an older roof. And the insurance company, you may not be able to get replacement value. I don't know. I don't sell insurance. But I've heard some of my clients weren't able to get replacement value insurance on older roofs, that they could only get actual cash value. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got a damaged shingle. Damaged shingle, 6 courses up over the north wall bathroom window. Because that's a bathroom window, I'm assuming. Again, I haven't spent a lot of time inside of here. Remember I was talking about the in-use covers for the electrical? That's what these are. That's an in-use cover right there. That's a good thing. Got a couple of them right there. Well, let's go on in. Let's enjoy the day. Okay? Because I'm looking. Looking for... I'm looking for drill holes. When you get a pebble system like this, a lot of times I put the pebbles back in the holes and kind of like flush it really good. A good bug man will do that. The ones that rip and tear go don't do that. And I just kind of almost imagine it. But no, I can't tell that we got bubble covers. I can tell that we got duct tape over this receptacle. What's that about? What's that about? And these are GFCI protected. I think I'm going to find that as dead because I tripped the one when I was doing the air conditioning movie before this movie, which you'll see after this movie. And if not, we'll find out. Okay. Yeah, that's off because it's GFCI protected. And I tripped it already. But if you have GFCI protected receptacles, they're supposed to be labeled as being so. Now over here, it's kind of like at the beginning of the video, that we don't have grading or drainage along here. Okay, and it's just a swamp over here. Can you say West Nile? And when the water collects over here, we're on expansive clay soil. So if the back of the house and the front of the house is dry, and this middle of the house is wet, expansive clay soil expands and contracts about 3 inches between when it's completely hydrated and dehydrated. So the middle of the house could raise up, and it could. I mean, that's why we have these rules. Coming on along. Yeah, I mean, you can see the water right there. This is a control joint right here. Now, it's kind of a peculiar place to put them. You usually put them on the sides of the window so you continue down like this. I don't know why they made that decision, but this control joint has not been sealed. So, control joint on north side of the house has not been sealed. On continuous, rain gutters above grade, doesn't discharge far enough away. Along, we got our bay windows. Maybe this is the parent bedroom. Not parent, we don't say parent this week. This week we say primary. Last week we said parent. Week before we said owners. Week before that we said master. But they decided master was bad, so then they decided owners. But then I said, why is owners different than master? So then it went to parents, but sometimes the children take... But anyway, so they decided that, okay, so we're going to... This week it's the primary bedroom, if that's the bedroom that it is. Got some gas lines coming out here. Okay. I'm not sure exactly how this is all related. It's probably related somewhat to this portable grill that's beyond the scope of our inspection. We have a whole video about this patio deck, but it just reminds me a couple things it reminds me of. And this is start right here. Shouldn't have a satellite dish mounted directly to your roof covering like that. Alright, and then on the second course right here, we've got a gouged shingle right there. And then over here, kind of where we started, to see if I can get it from a better angle. And I can. But right there on the ridge row, right up there, we've got not only, and I hope you can see this because the screen looks blown out to me. Alright, that's the same that's the same vent stack that's in the ridge row, which you're just asking for a leak there. Where am I? Oh, Alright, let me zoom you out here a little bit. Find you again. Like I said, I hope this comes out, it's blown out on this screen. But your vent pipe is supposed to extend a minimum of 6 inches above the roof covering, and it's not supposed to be on a ridge row like that.
You mean the one up there, the small one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so that's what I was looking for. And then and then that satellite dish, and then the gouge, and then somewhere out here, I was able to find, and I made mental note, which is dangerous. There it is. We got some gas piping over here. So you could put a portable grill, providing that that's, not a dead man, but you could, oh, wait a minute. Well, that's not a dead man. You could put a gas grill out here.
But what have I missed while I was in